Baller Scholar Podcast.
Let's talk James Harden, Josh. You were saying, listen, the Rockets aren't going to win, so let's trade James Harden. What do you like?
I'm looking at this list right now that the listeners cannot see, but I will read the trades that I do like.
Okay.
Should we just go one by one and say who says yes to every one?
That's a lot of reading, but if you want,
we don't really need to go into too far deep.
No, just pick the ones that you think are good and maybe ones you think are terrible, or maybe. How about this? We'll do it like if you're the Rockets, basically. What do you?
All right.
What do you think is the best deal?
If I'm the Rockets, I think that the best deal is Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
The Celtics will not do that. Like now, I think we see how Jaylen Brown is.
Wait, I think if you look at that, I think if you're the Rockets, you need picks too.
I don't know. Jaylen Brown
well,
is
that's probably how the Rockets look at it too. That's probably
at the beginning of the season. Like obviously things have changed because Jaylen Brown's off to a hot start. But I think like originally you were looking at Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and like 2 or 3 first rounders, including a pick swap.
Right.
So like those. Like I think you would need more if you're the Rockets, but also like I would hope the Celtics wouldn't be dumb enough to do that.
Well, it's like, are the Rockets in win now mode where it's like you want a star and maybe, because you have John Wall and Cousins and Wood sitting there, like just, I guess, wasting away if you're just going to go with picks, unless you plan on trading them too and kind of do the Thunder thing where you just sell off stars for picks. Or do you look for maybe a more affordable star and like a better package and maybe make a playoff run?
I think you look for a bit of a rebuild. Put some younger guys around Boogie and John Wall. They're really good, respectable guys, and they'll lead these younger guys into the right direction. That was sarcastic, but I think that you need to rebuild. I don't think John Wall and Boogie are the guys that you want the young guys to be around, but I think like if you're looking for a rebuild kind of thing, I think the Heat deal that's on here is James Harden for Iguodala, Olynyk, Hero, Robinson, Precious, and a first-round pick. I think that is like ridiculously way too heavy, and I think no one says yes to that one for the like on the Heat side. Like I don't think there's one person that would be like, yeah, that's good. I mean, it's just one person for like youth, like your entire youth. I think the Heat, the Rockets will obviously say yes. I think a lot of these deals are almost too much in my eyes. Yeah, I think a lot of them are it's just a lot.
Well, I think
for an MVP though.
I think we could kind of eliminate like a lot of these teams. Like
I like that Pacers one, no?
I think
that one's not bad.
The Pacers one's pretty good. But I feel like that if you're a team that's like not contending, like you should not be trading for James Harden this year. Like you just shouldn't do it. Especially if it's a place where like he doesn't even like want to go. That like there's no point in trading for him. Like you see what he's doing right now in Houston. Like he wants out, and he'll probably want out of like a place like Washington or like Chicago.
I think this Nuggets deal on here where it's for Harden for Porter Jr., Gary Harris, and Will Barton. I think that is a good one if you throw in picks as well.
Yeah,
like
picks,
I don't think that's enough.
I was about to say I hope that the Rockets wouldn't take that because that's
I think you need more like a couple first, if not a few first round picks there, like futures obviously, but. Yeah. Like, you take on Michael Porter, who's really good, and that could be a good, like, wing guy to go with Wall and DeMarcus. Gary Harris is give or take. Like, he could play well for them. And then Will Barton is a great 6-man. I don't know. I
I
think
would
you-
actually
you-
like to see the this Bucks trade, the Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, and DJ Wilson for James Harden. I'd be interested in that actually
That'd be
because
cool.
Yeah.
I think Chris Middleton. I just don't think he's that guy for the Bucks.
Yeah.
He's obviously a good player, but I think that would like shock some people, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
like, I think that that'd be a good trade for like both teams. I will say that once again, even though they are getting Chris Middleton, I feel like there has to be something more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least one pick, or maybe a couple second rounders.
Because that's pretty much just Chris Middleton and Dante DiVincenzo. Like, there's no like DJ Wilson.
He's sick, bro. Trust me.
He's he's a garbage player, and he got traded. And then
He's not bad.
he got traded to the Kings, and then the
Yeah.
trade fell through. So it's like they don't even want him.
Scott,
Nobody
you
wants
thirsty?
him.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, but like, how much value does a first round pick from the Bucks really have, realistically?
Well,
Which is
now
also a
we-
problem with all the contenders, you know.
Now nothing, but I think teams right now are more willing to part ways with future first rounders, like essentially throwing away their future for
Right.
for like a star. So if they give away future first rounders, which they have some, they don't have that many because they gave a lot away for Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
They actually, I don't think they would be able to give away future first rounders just because the league rules. I think they've already given away too many.
Yeah, probably don't have much to offer in that department.
But I don't know. That is a good deal. I agree with Josh. I think that one could be attractive. But I mean, some of these don't make sense to me. Like, why would I don't see? I'm not sorry. That made me sound like I'm questioning you, Matt. for
No,
putting
I
these
just throw
down.
them out there just to see
Yeah.
if like worked financially.
The
and if-
one that's highlighted now, the Cavs one, like I don't see why the Cavs need James Harden and like Andre Drummond and Colin Sexton, Kevin Porter, and a first round pick going to Houston. I don't think that like either team needs that right now. Colin Sexton would just be behind would be with John Wall, and they're essentially the same guy, like just speedy point guards. Drummond would be down there, and there would be Christian Wood and DeMarcus Cousins. Obviously, Drummond's better than Cousins right now, but I don't like that one. I think Zach LaVine, Laurie, Satoransky, and a first-round pick is way too much, especially like with Markkanen's potential.
They're not extending Markkanen though, so he's
Yeah.
like already gone. And
It's
Levine, like I don't know. It's weird because a lot of these teams like aren't gonna win anyway, so it's like maybe you throw Harden in there, and he kind of does his thing, or you have a contender trying to upgrade like their second star,
yeah.
and it's like how much. I will say I think the Heat one. Maybe you take Precious out of it and you imagine a starting five with like Dragic, Harden, Butler, Precious, and like Bam. I don't know if anyone can compete with that starting five, maybe like Brooklyn. But you are like wearing that roster very thin and you are basically selling your future out. But like, do you realistically think the Heat will ever win a championship with their roster without...
I don't think with the roster they have now or with that roster, I don't think they win a championship. Is that like crazy to say?
I think that moves them up into like the upper echelon of the East, I would say.
You would hope.
Because,
But-
I mean, they don't have like a James Harden type who can like score off the dribble. Where like Bam and Butler can facilitate, but like I feel like Harden adds a whole nother dimension.
I think injury problems and like uncertainty on how like Precious will like perform further like into this year, like in into the future. I think like Precious might not be the best five for you. And then with how shallow your bench will be, I that team just like it's very top heavy.
Yeah.
And you know what happens with top heavy things? They fall over if they lose their balance.
No, that's true. That's science, so it's hard to argue with that.
And that's sports science. Thank you, John Marcus.
Anyone like the Hawks deal? John Collins, Capella, Hunter, and Snell's just there for salary because he's $12 million, so he's just there to even out. Harden's
It's-
like 40 or whatever.
It's not bad. I think they're giving a lot away there, but again, it's like Capella, it's not like he's like this centerpiece of the French franchise that's going to be there forever. And he's not like a stud. Collins is great, but he's out of there. And Hunter like has shown flashes of good potential. I think I can't tell if you need to throw more or less in there.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
At first, like at glance, I say less. I mean, less. Like maybe take away DeAndre Hunter and do picks, or maybe take away Capella and do picks. But like after reading it out loud again, I think you need to do more. I'm not really I think you have to. For me, I think you do John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Snell, and picks for Harden, and then you keep Capella.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Harden's a weird one too, because just like as a personality, you don't know if he's gonna like. It's not like 2K where it's just like a known thing he'll stick around or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of just kind of unpredictable element to it.
Atlanta is a scary place for James Harden to be.
Yeah, so
It's sucked to go in.
So it sounds like probably that Bucks deal might be the
Most
best
enticing.
one. We'll see what happens. Speaking of John Collins, he's another one. Recently kind of had some disagreements with Trae Young. Declined a 4-year, $90 million extension. Looks like he's out. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone by the trade deadline. Obviously not the same caliber as James Harden, but I think there would be a lot of teams that would be asking about him. What do we like? What do we not like here?
I don't know if I like any of them.
Cool.
Except for the Trailblazers, maybe. Trailblazers, maybe Thunder.
Well, it's two because like it's either they're gonna let him walk or get something for him.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think some of them you're getting way too much. I think a lot of them you get too much. I think
For a 20 and 10 guy.
Yeah, I look at it. I think the Trailblazers one is a good one. Covington, Collins, and first round pick. You bring some. I mean, obviously Collins is injured right now and out for the year, but I think Covington would bring some like wing depth and like guidance to some of the younger guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think Collins, when he comes back, he's a good big man. Off the bench, and then a pick obviously will help them out in the long haul. I like the Kings one where you John Collins goes in return for Bagley, Rashad Holmes, and a first round pick, just because Holmes and Bagley both they kind of like alternate who plays well and who doesn't play well, but they're both like decent, so I think that's a fair one. And I like the John Collins for Jackson, Muscala, and 3 first rounders from the Thunder. I think 3 first rounders from the Thunder are actually like, that's a lot just because like you don't know how good they're really going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I like him paired up with Shai. I think like a couple first rounders or 1 first rounder and 2 second rounders sounds a little bit better to me. But I think the Anthony Edwards and Jared Culver for John Collins is a lot. 2 guys that are like, I mean, Anthony Edwards is 10 games into his career, and Jared Culver is like a season and 10 games into his career, not even a full season. So like I don't know, Jaylen Brown, for example, like in his first year and a half, like wasn't amazing, So I'm not gonna put a cap on Jared Culver yet. Porter for Collins straight up is interesting. Sorry, go on.
I will say, like, Matt, I know you like put these here from like things that like went through, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, on 2K?
On like the ESPN trade machine.
Oh, okay. So it's like they're not taking into account like
Potential,
and they're not taking into account like who these people are. Like Anthony Edwards and Jared Culver our
I think
first
it
round
just
picks.
I think it
literally
just
the
takes
number
into
one pick.
consideration money, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm putting them. Yeah, like money wise, because John Collins is still on his rookie deal. But
Yeah, no,
John
I mean,
Collins is 23. When you want to talk about potential, he averaged 20 and 10 last year, and like obviously the steroid thing.
No,
I feel like he's someone that would, bring in like a legitimate. And I mean,
I agree, but at the same time, like I agree that he's a great player, but at the same time, like you can't just like trade your like first round pick, number one overall, and he hasn't been great, sure, but it's like I just feel like you can't
Yeah.
do
I would
that
do it.
this early in the season. I mean,
Probably
we know
not
that-
yet, but
We know John Collins is really good, but at the same time, like, I mean, they must know something that we don't know. Where he's like he's doing something wrong. He's always been like.
well, he's
this
just
too.
upset because he's not going to get paid.
Yeah,
there.
but he's like always been in the same like. I don't know. He even said like he feels like he should be like trusted more or
Mhm.
like equal to Trae Young, and honestly, I mean, Trae Young. It's obviously Trae Young's team now, but it's like,
They haven't won with him.
yeah. I mean, so like, why not?
But I mean, you look
John
at
Collins is showing that he's.
if you have D'Lo, John Collins, and Cat, it's not a bad young core.
Yeah, but at the same time, like
Two bigs.
they're expecting that to be like the same thing with like you have D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Cat, you know.
Yeah, but like
So-
John Collins is like what you're getting. Anthony Edwards is like I feel like right now he's worth the most because he could be like Andrew Wiggins,
That's facts.
and right
Yeah,
now
like-
we don't know what he's gonna be. But I feel like his ceiling right now is I don't know. I'm not as high on him maybe as you guys.
I'm not actually high on him at all, but I just feel like that trade.
It
like,
is selling him
completely
very
ignored.
quickly, but I feel like
Yeah.
the more you see from him, like the less value he's gonna get.
Yeah, and I don't really like the deal to Washington. I like Roy too much, and Denny, like, you haven't, like, he doesn't look great so far, but you also haven't seen enough of him.
All I'm gonna say is why was. Now this is like going far back. Why is Anthony Edwards? Maybe I will take this trade honestly. Why is he even like viewed as like a very good player? Like he
Well-
was decent in college. He averaged 19 and 5, but he shot 29% from 3, and he shot 40% from the field. Like that's like, and he obviously had like highlight reel plays and stuff, and like he was dunking
Yeah.
on people and like, but like, I don't know that there's.
I think people chalked it up because he was the first option, like a bad team, so he would probably just huck up a bunch of shots.
And I think
I think it
also-
kind of the situation just sucked for
Yeah,
the Timberwolves because like, and now we're going on a tangent, but
that's
like,
fine.
but like the situation kind of sucked for the Timberwolves because like, and James Wiseman hasn't been that great. He's been like he's shown flashes. He's been way
Mhm.
better than Anthony Edwards in my opinion, but at the same time like. They
Way
couldn't
better.
take James Wiseman, but now maybe if they had taken James Wiseman, they could have they could have traded him for John Collins, and I'd understand. But it's like now you have
Well,
Anthony Edwards like at a position that like you can actually use.
well, you saying they couldn't use John Collins?
No. I'm saying that they can use John Collins.
Right.
They can use John Collins, and I'm saying that he'd be. I agree with you that he'd be a good addition to the team. I agree with that, but like, if they have, like I'm saying if they had
Wiseman.
Wiseman, sorry, yeah. If they had Wiseman, then it would make sense to
It'd just
trade
be more
for
equal
that
trade
one.
for like the Hawks
Well, it'd be more equal trade, but it would also make sense where it's like, oh yeah, like
because the
they
positions
already have a
line up.
center.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, John
But-
Collins can spread the floor a little bit where you can like shoot the three.
yeah. I mean, it was just like a bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
I
not
mean,
so.
I
I'm not so.
actually kind of agree with that, but and then I just think you have to look at like the Hawks. Like, it doesn't make sense for them. They have way too many wing players. They already have Huerter,
That's true.
Reddish, Hunter,
Hunter.
probably like 3 other people that I'm not even thinking of right now that they have. Solomon
Yeah.
Hill, more of a power forward, but
I'm not so sold on trading John Collins for really any of these packages. I could see them.
How about that
I just
Kings
want to trade
package?
John Collins. Like it's just so like, just figure it out. He's a very good player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay him. I
And
mean,
like
is he worth
the-
$490?
Yeah,
Probably.
he's
but
worth
he
$490.
Yeah.
He's worth
is he worth more than that? Because that's what he thinks.
That's what he wants, right?
Especially when you look at what Rudy Gobert got.
I love John Collins. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
And what Fred
uh,
Van Fleet got.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like Fred VanVleet went off in the finals, went off in the playoffs,
Yeah.
didn't play well in meaningful games. Rudy Gobert has been Defensive Player of the Year, so he's not gonna be that much money.
Well, right. No, I'm not
Obviously. I know
comparing.
you're
I'm
I know
just
you're
saying
not
they're
that.
both
You're saying,
overpaid more than their
Yeah.
value.
oh my god, especially Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, both of them, but Rudy
So,
Gobert is
yeah,
very
I'd say
overpaid
John
for, a
Collins
similar
might be,
position. I would say,
4
a
for
100.
100. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I agree with that same deal. I
Even
just
though
I don't know.
that could his statistics could potentially be because of the team he's on. You know what I mean?
That's
the
true.
Fast paced, losing team that
Yeah.
uses
Well, that would be the
two people.
Timberwolves too.
That's true.
We'll see.
I think to pull the trigger on some of these younger guys is really, really hard. I mean, Kevin Knox, I'm fine with dealing, but Obi, it's really quick. Roy, Denny, Anthony Edwards, Patrick Williams, who I obviously wasn't big on. I think it's hard to just say trade. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Even Culver.
Okay.
I think
Fair enough.
for John Collins, it'd be I could see them trading for someone like I don't even know.
Well, that's the thing
It's-
is they need
yeah.
another power forward, so you're basically just swapping.
People they do need another power forward, so I could see them going after even LaMarcus Aldridge deal.
Yeah, I mean that would be a veteran presence. Could be nice.
And
I
then
mean
you
he's
move
not
John
great.
Collins to a young team who's growing, and they're gonna be good. I mean, DeJounte, Lonnie, Keldon Johnson, John Collins, and DeRozan's there too. This could be a good team.
Yeah, I mean speaking of Spurs, then if you want to look, I mean there's not as much a list for DeMar.
What a transition! That's 2 in a row
yeah,
that we
you know.
just go for.
Listen, that's how we do.
Why would the Spurs be looking to trade DeMar?
Because he's on an expiring contract, and so he'll just leave probably.
Is he a free agent? Is it this year? It's the last year?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
at this point, they're not gonna probably make too much noise, I would imagine. So might as well maybe get younger, get some picks out of him.
Cool.
I like
Okay.
3 of these deals.
Right on.
Oh,
Bulls,
wow.
Pacers,
That's
Nuggets.
that Sixers is interesting.
Yeah, that's a funky one.
Yeah, I like the Bulls, Pacers, and Nuggets deal.
Yeah, I like that
bias.
Nuggets one.
Yeah, Gary Harris, Will Barton in a first rounder for DeMar. That's a place I could see DeMar re-signing at, just because. Nice core.
Mm-hmm.
And he could just add to it. I think Gary Harris is. You need to kind of sell Gary Harris now because he's declining so rapidly, so in such a weird fashion. Will Barton has shown that he's a good player, and a first round pick. You're not giving away that. A first round pick's a lot. Maybe even just a second round pick there is a good enough switch for DeMar, especially since he's expiring. But I like that deal a lot.
I feel like Pop could get a lot of that Gary Harris too. I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
He's a Pop kind of guy.
Defensive, could be a 3-and-D guy.
Mm-hmm.
DeMar on the Pacers. I mean, if you're the Pacers, I think that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely upgrade.
Definitely.
And then the Spurs get younger at wing.
Yeah.
and you get a shooter
Cool
out of
deal.
it and a
I
pick.
like that.
And I like this Bulls deal too. You get like a bigger wing in Otto Porter and Wendell as a big man.
Oh, Wendell.
I like Wendell a lot more than Otto. I think it's tough because Otto's so expensive, and they like really don't need him. They have Keldon Johnson right now, and I don't know, they're a bigger team. I think
Right.
that'd be a good deal still.
I don't know if the Bulls would do that. Doesn't really make sense for them.
Yeah,
but
I don't think the Bulls. It makes sense for them, but
if they just want to get cap space, because DeMar, I mean, you just take him for half the year and then you let him
Yeah.
walk, and you get rid of Otto.
But yeah, for sure, the Hawks one, like, I think it's a lot. DeMar for Collins, Snell, Herter, Goodwin, and Bruno Fernando. Bruno Fernando, Herter, like, they're there for now. Both young and have Bruno's a little older actually. I think he might be older than Herter even. But you know, he's played good minutes for them. Herter, I think, is young and like can play good minutes for them and plays good minutes every night for them. Collins, I think they're like, if you did Collins, for Snell and Fernando for DeRozan, it's not as bad. I just think it's tough to give away Herter for them.
Yeah, I think I had to add a bunch of money to get it to Rosen. He's like
Oh, yeah.
24 or something, and like the Hawks, it's
That makes
tough.
sense.
So I just had to keep adding people, and I was trying to. I mean, like, really, this trade is like Collins, Huerter, and Bruno. Like Snell and Goodwin are basically just like salary cap guys. Do you think a swap between DeMar and Tobias would improve the Sixers?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Tobias is playing really well this year, and
He is playing well.
he provides like a 3-point presence, which DeMar doesn't.
Right.
I mean, and which doesn't take anything away from DeMar because he finds another way to score always. But I think Tobias is also just like really sound defensively, and he can cover the bigger guys like LeBron's and whatever. And I mean, I think DeMar is like can also do that, but I think I trust Tobias in those roles better.
I actually agree with Brian now.
I think
We sold you. Well, we
What do
say
you
Harris
think?
is one of the most overpaid players. I mean, I don't know.
he is, yeah.
So they get rid of that contract and maybe
I think-
downgrade. I don't know.
For me, I think the issue in Philadelphia isn't Tobias. I think it's Ben Simmons. I think if they had like a good 3-point shooting point guard, even if it's like a decent player, someone like I don't know, like obviously Trae Young is like an extreme, but somebody even like Devontae Graham or help me out here. Yeah,
I
give
was
me
thinking
like
like Mike Conley, someone that.
yeah, like
Or
it would work out for someone like that.
Yeah.
Just a scoring point guard that, like, they have way too many guys that are like big. You know what I mean? Like going into last year, their starting lineup, what was it? It was Simmons, Tobias, Embiid. There was other
Josh
like, maybe-
Richardson is kind of a bigger
Yeah,
dude too.
and then there was another bigger dude in there. Maybe let me look.
Mike
'cause I remember
Scott or something.
They had like a 4 power forward offense.
Yeah, it was
essentially.
ridiculous.
76ers 2019 lineup. Who am I forgetting? Oh, and Al.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like that's a big team. There's like 3 7-footers almost.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But sticking with the Spurs, you look at like LaMarcus, who that's a deal I think a lot of teams like wouldn't be opposed to going after. I know the Celtics with their trade exception like kind of look at him and they're like, you know, why not?
Yeah.
Here you have again the John Collins trade. We already talked about that one. Hornets is a cool one for me because now with LaMelo looking so good, you trade Zeller, Graham, Malik Monk for Aldridge.
Yeah, I was proud of that one actually.
Yeah, I like
Good
that a
one.
lot. Because then the offense over there, like, Bismack Biyombo's their big man. And I don't... Like they need more.
We know what Bismack, based on how their commentator reacted to his 3-pointer.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. LaMarcus for Laurie and Thad. Like that's not a bad one. I think Laurie would flourish in a system like Pops. And I don't know. I like all those trades. I just except for the Hawks really, but wasn't LaMarcus drafted by the Bulls?
I don't know. I only put him in Portland.
Let me look. Yeah, drafted by the Bulls and then traded to the 76ers on.
The 76ers.
Traded to the Trailblazers for Tyrese Thomas and Victor Cruspa.
They lost that deal. Yikes.
Yeah, the Bulls had acquired the pick from the Knicks in the Eddie Curry trade.
Lost that deal too.
Yeah, so LaMarcus would be returning to Chicago where he was drafted and traded. I don't know. I like that. I'd like to see LaMarcus do well somewhere, you know.
Yeah, I think he still has a little bit left in the tank where he can. I mean, he scored like 28 the other day.
Exactly.
So I think.
Mid-range God.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
got some breaking news regarding James Harden.
Oh please, I just got that too. Let's hear it.
Wait, what?
James Harden, I love this city. I've literally done everything I can. The situation is crazy. I don't think it could be fixed. Thank you and good night. Walks off podium. Fucking savage.
Hit the panic button.
Someone hit the panic. Yeah, so he's out.
Holy moly.
Someone sell your stock on the Houston Rockets because they're about to
Yikes.
tank.
Unless they get one of these sick trades, I'll make sure to email this to their GM.
Probably should.
That's really tough.
Yeah.
I literally just got a report like this past weekend that was like, yeah, Harden, like Houston thinks he's
staying.
gonna stick around.
I just saw that this morning.
I mean, they also just got blown up by the Lakers twice, so.
That's
The
probably
only
what
thing
it
we can do
was.
only thing that we can do is pray that the Celtics don't trade for James Harden.
Well,
There's no way he sends Jalen
No.
to get rid of Brown.
I would jump.
the thing is, like, we've kind of.
Off a bridge.
I mean, I know Harden kind of is like a problem, but I feel like we forget how good he is when he's like happy or just like playing
Yeah.
well. It's like he's ridiculous.
Oh, baby.
But I don't know. He's like fat now, and
If
who
the
knows?
Celtics trade for Harden, I am changing teams that I affiliate with. Mark my words.
Hey, I also have breaking news regarding the Warriors.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre is 4 for 4 tonight, baby.
Whoa.
100%. Two for 2 from downtown. 10 points.
That's still gonna put him at what, like 15% for the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm watching this right now, and they just keep showing him like walk off the court after nailing threes.
Oh, God.
Good for him though. I mean,
Brogdon.
they're dangerous if you can actually hit anything.
Brogdon heading into halftime with 3 fantasy points,
Oof. He's coming back down to earth like a comet.
just like Josh called it. Josh always calls it.
Yeah, I mean he's right every once in a while with his predictions. Let's
look at Al Horford.
Yeah, and then we can call it a night. We can get
Good
to other
night.
trades some other time.
Um,
What do you think?
let's see. I think I would like him in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like that's not that steep of a price. Like no, actually I don't think you can give away Malachi, Terrence Davis, and Stanley Johnson like they're like 3 of their like 4 backup guards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Malachi, Flynn, Terrence Davis are like showing really good signs of light, and I don't think OKC needs too many more guards. I think Patrick McCaw would just get dumped really quickly too. I think it'd just be like a drop.
Yeah, he's just salary cap stuff.
I don't know how much I like that. I like the idea of Horford going to Toronto, and
They need a big.
but I don't really like how they're giving away 3 guards.
Wait, why are these packages so big for Al Horford?
Because he has a huge salary.
Yeah, well, you kind of
He
have to give up.
sucks.
What about
It's not that bad.
what about Al?
About who?
Wait, hold on.
But
Make sure I
Devontae
don't
Graham,
contradict.
I know he's not having a great year, but
Could they make Al for like a John Collins thing kind of work with Tony Snell?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Because Horford is like 33.
yeah.
And there's just like the Hawks can't match that kind of money.
Damn.
No, well, he's 27. Let me bring up the Hawks real quick. I mean, Collins is only 4. So with Snell's 12, they would have to throw in like Hunter or Capella.
Or a second team.
Yeah, you have to do some like weird third round thing.
I'm loading it up as well, the trade machine, to take a look. And this was OKC to.
It's kind of crazy because the Hawks' top 2 most paid players are Gallinari and Bogdanovich, and neither of them are playing right now.
Yeah,
Which is tough.
and
Damn.
I think eventually trading Rondo wouldn't be a bad one.
Yeah, he would help even some cap. They can't trade him until February 5th because they just signed him.
Let's see, so Collins. Oh shit.
Because they need
Collins, Al Horford. Let's see who can give up here. Capella.
You would go Capella?
I'm just looking. This trade is successful. Okay, hold on. Adjust trade. That wasn't supposed to work. What if you gave up Al Horford and a pick for Capella, Snell, and John Collins? Who says no?
I mean, I don't know if the Hawks would.
In one of what's it called, first round picks, one of OKC's upcoming first rounders.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't mind it, and if I'm a Hawks fan, I'm not like too sold on Capella, and Collins
Well,
is leaving.
Yeah, Capella's more of like a rim protector than Horford, I feel like.
Yeah.
And you have to eat that Horford 3-year 27.5 is like it's a steep price.
Yeah, it's not easy to
But
look at.
I mean,
as
he's a great locker room guy, great leader. So I mean, if you're not gonna get anything for Collins and you're just gonna let him walk, I mean, rather have Horford. I don't love Capella being in there, but
we still don't have Onyeka either.
no, we don't know what he could be. So that's true. If he shows it, yeah, by all means, get rid of Capella.
I don't mind that, the idea of that. But I think Cody Zeller, Malik Monk, and Devontae Graham for Al Horford. Not that it's a lot. I think I like it. I wouldn't mind Horford over there teaming up with Gordon in the place that they would love to be. I think the first one though, Danny Rui in a first rounder, is a lot. I'm really high on Rui. I really think he could be an all-star. So I'm not sold on trading him at all. And Danny, you really don't know. He looks too much like Luka for me to be like.
He's scrawny, bro.
You think so?
A little bit.
I think he just looks like he needs to get a little bit more muscle. I think he's just has some baby fat on him still.
Yeah. It's tough with these rookies, man, because some of them look so bad, but that's just part of it, and we it's easy to forget there was no summer league. They're still getting acclimated to playing NBA.
Yeah, that's why
basketball.
it's so impressive how well LaMelo is playing.
I know, because really, I mean, you bring up this class. I don't know, who's impressed you so far?
I think LaMelo has, obviously, Pritchard. We haven't talked about Pritchard much yet. I think in the next episode of the podcast we can really touch in on who's surprising. We talked about teams, but there's a lot of teams that we still haven't looked at, and Pritchard is up there.
Halliburton.
Even you look at second year players too, and who's really making that leap. Garland, obviously.
Yeah. Too bad he got hurt.
Yeah.
We'll see what he can do when he comes back.
It looks like Bagley wants out of Sacramento. RJ is really stepping up. Cam Reddish is even showing some light. Kobe White. like there's some good like second year players that are really developing and showing like their real potential.
Carson Edwards.
Yeah, Carson, Taco.
Shut the.
No, I think I really think that I really think it's
Sorry.
way too early to say like these rookies coming into the situation
Yeah.
that we're in. They didn't get March Madness.
Right.
They didn't get a draft combine. They didn't get like any of that. I think it's so hard to like get real on some of these guys.
Right. But part of me is like, some of them will actually be like bad, and that like you're selling value and potential that may not be there.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
a
you want to
gamble.
capitalize on that as much as possible. But I mean,
it's such a gamble.
you're really not losing too. I mean, you might be stuck with them for like 3 to 4 years on their rookie deal, but then you let them walk and they never play in the NBA again.
Exactly.
So, as long as you don't sign them to like max money or something,
Yeah.
it's pretty low risk.
On that note, I have to piss like a racehorse.
Well, hey, that's Block Party.
That's why.
I actually like Block Party a lot.
Well, hey, I got a ton more trades that we can talk about some other time, and now that we can do this virtually, we're gonna do this every night.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
Every night before bed.
yep.
Scott, bring your computer up to New Hampshire. You're gonna have to crank open the.
I could do it on my phone, bro.
So
Wow.
this is
30
great.
30 minutes of podcasting a day keeps hemorrhoids away.
Mhm.
And that's why this episode was brought to you by PrepAge.
Right on.
If you podcast, you don't need PrepAge. Also brought to you by meatspin.com, where you spin me right round, baby. Landshark beer. Landshark lager.
Yeah, gotta get that right.
We're in Margaritaville, baby. I also, we're brought to you by our newest sponsor, Airbnb. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. They're actually giving us like they're sponsoring us and pushing us to Kelly Oubre just hit another 3.
Oh my
my-
goodness.
Let's go. For
Who
every
played him in
three
the
that Kelly-
3-point challenge? You'd have to be out of your mind.
No one in their gourd. Shout out to Airbnb. They're pushing us to go to Costa Rica sooner, so we're just gonna have to do that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Listen, and
pod from there.
that's all I got to say tonight.
Thanks, Bri.
No, thank you, Matt, for always putting these spreadsheets together, setting us up to succeed on
This guy Matt, bro.
on
Something
clean
else.
feed.
A lot of free
Listen,
time.
You guys don't know what happens behind the scenes, but this guy Matt really puts in work.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
No, thank
I
you.
can't wait. Thanks,
James-
Steven, for listening.
Yeah, James
Thanks,
Wiseman
Steve.
with his 4th personal foul of the half. He has just as many
Oh my
personal
goodness.
fouls
Oh.
as Kelly Oubre has 3s.
That's a problem.
So Steven, if you're listening to this, somebody have anything to roast Steven with tonight?
Ooh,
Just say hi to your aunt, uncle, and
Let us know their thoughts on Nancy Pelosi. Hey, Steve, I got that golf club express shipped up to
yeah,
Denver.
you should expect
so,
it by midday tomorrow.
So feel free to do whatever you need to.
Yes, and when you're back, you should be having a new person living in your house in Sharon.
Oof. That's true. Something to look forward to.
All right. Thank you, Clean Feed. This has been very clean.
You just listened to another episode of the Baller Scholar Podcast.